All right, we're back against the Lodge. Tuesday, we have two games to preview. We may get Brad on the line. He seems to be right here in our Zoom meeting. I see his name and everything. He can't hear us, and we can't hear him. But we're going to try to get that together. He's down 11.9 points to Simmons. I know he has some derogatory things to say about Simmons and his fantasy team in general. But let's go to the Eagles versus Washington team. Eagles 8.5-point favorite now. It jumped from 6.5. 41.5 is the over under. And I saw a report. It's like, well, the line has moved to 8.5 based on the news that Garrett Gilbert may be starting for Washington. But I see it the other way. Garrett Gilbert, the line moved first, and then Garrett Gilbert news was announced. It was really weird. Like Vegas and FanDuel gets a hold of this information before anyone else. Schefter says signs continue to point to recently signed Garrett Gilbert starting tonight at quarterback for WFT. Final round of COVID testing for Heineke and Kyle Allen.
Well, the thing is, they said Allen and Heineke are still in DC, right? They said they're staying in there to test until like 4:00. So even if they get cleared, then they gotta quickly fly them to Philly.
Right. I guess it's a 25-minute flight, so they weren't as worried for that. But anyway, I like the Eagles going into this 6.5. I'm sticking with them. They've allowed fewer than 20 points in 3 of the last 4 games. The defense has allowed fewer than 100 rushing yards in the last 5 of the last 6. So how the hell is Washington going to move the ball with Garrett Gilbert's going to have to pass against this team? I don't think it's going to happen. Eagles still alive. Both teams sort of still alive for that 7 spot. Washington 2-5 against the spread in the last 7 as an underdog of more than 3 points. That's a spot here. I think it's I think they get beat up on here like 24-6 or something like that. Some stupid low-scoring game. Go under, go Eagles. This is going to be a boring little part of the segment because we all have the Eagles, Harry, right?
Yeah, I mean, kind of a crappy. You only said that. I think that's right on with the points. I think maybe even nice to go Philly on a teaser here just in case with the under as well. But I'm going to lay the points with the Eagles as well. I think Hurts is going to be the best player on the field tonight. If you remember last year in the last game of the season, he got pulled for Nate Sudfeld. When the Giants still had a chance for the playoffs, a lot of controversy around that. I think he wants this one for sure. Philly keeps that in playoff hopes alive. And Philly also 30 points they've scored in 4 of the last 6 games. Philly, not much offense, not much quarterback situation here. I'm going to take Philly.
All right, brother Bry, Eagle. I mean, we don't have to go too long in this. We all like.
Just too many question marks, right? I mean, we saw that with the Bears last night, right? They're missing a ton of guys, and they looked in general like shit. I mean, even though the Vikings did too, but Washington, the same thing, right? They're missing so many guys. I know a couple of guys have gotten cleared here or there, but they're missing. It seems like they're missing 15 guys for this game. But yeah, the Eagles, Eagles have plenty of rest. They're getting their offensive weapons back, and their offense has been pretty good. For 3 of the last 4 weeks, they have covered 3 of the last 4 games. I do agree with that. I think Hurts probably has a pretty good game, or whoever ends up quarterbacking. I mean, I guess it's Hurts, but should have a pretty good game because Washington has been terrible during the season against the pass. I mean, they've been a little bit better lately, but I think they're going to struggle in this one to score more. Right. Are they going to score more than 10 points in this game?
I'll tell you what, if they score 0, our friend Brad, who seems to be in the Zoom, but he can't hear us, is in good shape because he needs 11.9 to beat Simmons. And, I don't think they score. I don't know that they score 10. And I have a prop bet that reflects that. All right, Parlay Kid, you're also on the Eagles. Didn't matter that it passed that key number of 7 from 6.5 to 8.5.
I don't usually let like a point or 2 really decide for me. So if I like it one way and it goes up a point or 2, I usually don't flip flop. So I think, like Brian said, some of their weapons are back. Sanders is back in the fold. This team has not played in 16 days. They are fully rested, fully healthy, a much more healthier team than their counterparts here in this game. So I think that really makes the difference. I think they're going to be obviously also, and they're the home team, healthier team, better quarterback. It all adds up to the Eagles, Sal. Let's ride with them.
It's I know there's other players involved, and you don't want teams going in. So they had to move the Browns. They had to move Washington as those COVID numbers got in the 20s, in the mid-20s. I know it ended up being a little less than that come Monday and Tuesday. They moved these games, but all said and done, Mullins still quarterback for Cleveland, and it looks like Garrett Gilbert's quarterback for Washington, and now they'll have less rest for next week's game. So
Right.
that kind of backfired, except
Yeah.
that the NFL gets a game. All right, let's go props. I'm going first half under 21, -110. I know one game has nothing to do with the other, but 5 of the last 6 games played in this ridiculous week 15 have gone under. Last night was miserable if you're rooting for points. Again, I don't expect much out of Washington's offense. Last 3 weeks, 0, 7, and 9 at half. I mean, every game this week has been low scoring, uninspiring quarterback play. 14-3 at half. Philadelphia, I like the under. It might even be a lot less than that. Go under 21. That's my prop. Parlay Kid, what do you like?
So I'm going Goddard over 45.5 yards. And kudos to us. We were 4 for 4 on our props last night. So,
Yes.
So not only did we hit the first touchdown, we were 4 for 4 on our player props, and they went over in some cases or under in the slimmest of margins. But we'll take it. A winner is a winner. I had Mooney over yards last night. I'm going to come back with Goddard too. Got a nice new contract. He had over 100 yards receiving in his last game, although that was Minshew quarterbacking. But to me, he's a weapon that gets sometimes underutilized by this Eagles team. But I think after that last game, they're going to look for him over 45.5 yards. He averages basically 50 yards a game. So, and this is a Washington team that can be thrown upon. Look for Hurts to look for Goddard often this one.
All right. Brother Brian, you're going Eagles receiving prop as well.
Yeah, I'm going Devontae Smith over 49.5. It just went up by 2 yards. But, this might be hard for Parlay Kid and I both to win this the way Hurts has been throwing the ball. But Smith has struggled the last few weeks. He struggled against the Giants and Jets, but prior to that, he had 3 really good games. The extra week should help him get back on track. Plus, like I was saying, Washington, although they've been a little bit better lately against the pass, they've struggled against good receivers and good quarterback play all year. So I think Smith rebounds as long as Hurts isn't just terrible tonight.
All right. Harry, you have Watkins. I don't know. Was he cleared? He was one of the guys that may not have been cleared. You didn't check.
I think he was clear.
He was. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
got
didn't
3,
know that, Harry. Harry, you didn't know that. Don't make
3
me
wide
like
receivers we got here. Listen, I'm going to take him over 26.5 receiving yards. Had 60
is
last
better.
week
Yeah.
against the Jets. Well, 3 receivers. Had a stretch of over 32 or more, 6 straight games this season. We'll probably hit 2 or 3, right?
Wait, what'd you say?
We'll probably hit 2 out of 3 of these receivers. Maybe all 3.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. First touchdown. Brother Brian got us back on the board. Award-winning first touchdown bets here. We will post these on. We'll have two quartets for you. I like Goddard to score first. 6. Parlay Kid mentioned 2 touchdowns last week. I know it was Minshew. I know it was the Jets. 6 grabs for 105 and 2 touchdowns. Now Hurts is in there. I don't think he's hit Goddard. I don't think they've connected for a touchdown since week 4, but he's got to show that he could throw to this star tight end. And now, you got Ertz out of the lineup for a few weeks now. She's got to do it. Gerald Everett, Cameron Brate, amongst a few to mention tight ends have scored against this Washington defense, which is not great. 32nd, in fact, which is last at 2.1 touchdown passes allowed. I like Goddard 10-1 odds to hit pay dirt first tonight. Harry, you like Hurts?
Yeah, like I said, I think Hurts is going to be the best player on the field tonight. It's 6-1, 8 rushing touchdowns, leads the team in rushing yards, attempts, average per rush, and rushing yards per game. 40% of his carries have been for first downs. He had 2 first quarter touchdowns in a game a month ago versus New Orleans, and did it the first touchdown in the game. Hurts comes up big for Philly tonight. I think he gets first touchdown.
I like that. I want to play a new game.
Well, it's a different situation when you talk about Hurts and running the ball more than any other quarterback probably.
I know, but I wonder if people are listening carefully. Like, okay, spot the Harry trend that doesn't matter worth a shit. And to me, that jumped out at me was 40% of his carries go for first downs in a touchdown bet here, first touchdown bet.
It could matter. It could matter.
First and goal. That first down is a touchdown. Oh, wow. So just add to
more than likely, put it this way, more than likely Hurts out of a lot of the quarterbacks and most of the quarterbacks in the NFL, he's going to have a rush that's longer than 10 yards or something for a touchdown.
Let me ask you this though, Parlay Kid. If you have the ball at the 3-yard line and you run it for a touchdown, that's not a first down, right?
No.
You got to rush for. Okay, all right. So that's
What is that? Yeah, I mean,
I know.
Well, just saying 40%.
Oh, I didn't know you were just saying. I had no idea you were just saying. You should preface it by saying you just saying.
Come on.
Can we get to Brad already?
we can get. All right, we got 2 more here, and then we'll get to Brad. He claims he can hear us, and then we'll be able to hear him. This is very exciting, brother. Bry, what do you like for first touchdown? You won last night.
Well, yeah, I'm going to go with Jordan Howard at 12-1 because what I'm going to say here is Miles Sanders right now is the favorite at 5-1, but he has zero touchdowns on the season, right? Zero receiving, rushing. He's battling ankle issues. I mean, both guys had been injured. I just, Howard being finally healthy again, I think they probably split carries, even though Sanders might get 60% of the carries, but I think this game might take a few drives till we see a score. I think this might be late into the first quarter that we see a score. So I'm expecting Howard maybe to be in at that point in time, especially on the goal line. He's typically the better goal line back here. So I'm going to get him at 12-1.
We went over the 32 starting running backs. Some of them are sketchy. I don't know. You can't tell who was supposed to start for like Atlanta.
Yeah.
I think it was Davis, but we went over the other day. How many of the under yardages are definitely a winner? Under yardages out of the 32. We got to about 20, right, brother? Right? We got
there's a lot.
Yeah, already with 3 weeks left.
I can't remember many of the S's except for Taylor and
not too many at all. All right, Parlay Kid, I know you've been flip-flopping on this. I don't know. Maybe we already have the answer.
I'm just gonna stay with my boy Miles Sanders. Really, for the reason Brian that gave is that he's got 0 so far this year. You got to get him into the end zone. You got to keep the guy a little happy. He's been battling an injury, but he had 24 carries for 120 yards in his last start. He catches the ball out of the backfield. He averages 5.2 yards per carry. The guy deserves to get in the end zone. I think if they get down there, they're going to, I think coaches think like this. I think look, we got to get Miles into the end zone. Let's get him in. And then we could be done with that. But you can't ask this guy to be your number 1 running back and never get him into the end zone.
Right.
So I think early in the game, they're down there. Let's get Sanders in 5-1. I wish this was more like 6 or 7-1. But
you want more money? You would like more money for this?
Yeah, I mean, I really just think because the guy's got 0 touchdowns,
right?
And he's 5-1. This is what we've talked about.
It might be a fixed line. It might be a fixed line.
So sure. Right. This could be it. So let's go with Sanders. I like this kid as a running back too. So I think he definitely adds some speed to them. And he can break one, get one on the goal line, he can catch one. Sanders at 5-1. It worked with Jefferson last night. Sometimes it's the the KISS philosophy, right? Sal, remember our football coaches used to say that.
The KISS philosophy?
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid. Right. No.
Oh, right. I got you.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. In the meantime, let us go to the second game. Yes, 2 Tuesday games. Normally, I don't even think there's 1, right? But let's do it 2. Rams, 7-point favorite, 46.5 over the Seahawks. They moved this one because of the Rams. They had COVID all over the place. They played a Monday, and now they're playing a Tuesday. So actually a little extra rest for them, even though they played a Monday. I'm going the Seahawks plus the points. They've won back-to-back games for the first time all season. They covered the spread in 3 of the last 4 as an underdog. Rams have failed to cover in 3 of the last 4. I think Lockett's out. I saw some conflicting information, but I expect big things out of Metcalf. They have the fewest points per game allowed defensively since week 7. Actually, 3rd. Patriots 12.5, Chiefs 15, Seahawks 16.1. Meanwhile, the Rams defense a tiny bit overrated. Last year, first and 3rd in opponents' points per game, passing yards opponents, and 3rd down. Now they're 20th, 23rd, and 26th. I think Stafford's back on track. They'll win this game eventually. I like it to be a classic, high scoring, like 30-26, 30-27. It was a good game the first time they played with Geno Smith. It was on Thursday night. Came down to the wire there. I expect the same. Rams win, Seahawks cover. Parlay Kid, you're going against me here.
Yes, I am, Sal. I just can't bring myself to look. This the Rams have let me down too so often. So I really can't say. I just can't bring myself. If Locke gets out, I think that really hurts this Seahawks team a lot. He's really been their main receiver over Metcalf. I guess Metcalf gets doubled, and I think that obviously without Lockett, you would think life would be easier for Metcalf. I don't think it's going to be. The Rams, look, did they get it back? Did one game? Can you find it in one game? I don't know, but Odell's now, breaking into their lineup. He's feeling more comfortable. He was a factor last game. They got the best receiver on the planet with Cooper Kupp. Their defense I thought Donald had his best game of the year in his last game too. I think the Rams, this game might be close going into the fourth. Rams score a late TD or two to pull away late, Sal. So let's take the Rams minus the 7.
All right. Sorry, I'm battling here with Brad because he claims he's done this hundreds of times, and it seems like the guest unmutes themselves and then sends us a picture in his defense. It says, if you like to speak, just unmute. So I don't know what's going on here, but I think we're getting closer to figuring this out. All right, Harry, you like the Seahawks. Brian, you like the Seahawks plus the point.
Yes, Al, you mentioned yesterday on Fox Bet Live, you touting get some good stats there for the Seattle defense. On offense, Seattle scored 30 and 33 the last 2 games. They finally found some sort of a running game last week with Penny going for 137. Wilson's got 2 touchdowns in 3 straight games passing. And with Geno Smith earlier this season, quarterback, they gave the Rams all they could handle in that game. I want to take the plus 7 here.
All right. And Brian, you like set plus 7 also.
Yeah, I like the plus 7. Like, it's hard to even say who's playing for the Rams, right? I mean, I know they're going to have most of their main weapons, but they're going to be missing a decent amount of guys on this team. And like you said, the Seahawks, surprisingly, again, I think I said this last week, surprisingly, they've just been a good defensive team, similar to last year where they buckled down late in the season, but they haven't given up more than 23 points in eight weeks, and their offense has been much better. So whether or not that's Russell being healthy, which I think he finally is, and their running game has been better the last few games. So I think, these games are pretty close usually. And like you said, it's probably more usually a higher scoring game, but give me the plus 7.
All right, let's go to, all right, just quick update, Brad. It actually is saying this is classic Brad, right? Like, he's right. He sent us a picture. It says the host is not allowing participants to unmute themselves. So it's not technically his fault, but the setting has only ever occurred with him in the 4.5 years he's been doing this. So it's just weird. Mike Meatballs, could you figure it out, or is this just hopeless?
Let me take a look.
All right, you take a look. He's gonna be happy when he gets on. So let's get ready for that. Props. Cup. We have Cup all over the place. I like Cup to score minus 125. He knocked me out of this fantasy. This would have been me playing instead of Brad in this game against Simmons, but he knocked me out with a touchdown last week. He scored the last 2 weeks. He scored the 5 of the last 8 games. Cornerback DJ Reed almost definitely out tonight on the COVID list for Seattle. They don't give up a ton of explosive plays, but he can get you both ways, right? He can get you with that explosive play, or if you get inside the 5 or inside the 7, you're stupid not to throw it to him. You're really not. I mean, he does that. I know this is going to be a superb analysis, but he does that little zigzag route, and he is open all the time. Almost 1,500 yards. I know the Parlay Kid has made a big push for him to be MVP. I don't know why you wouldn't throw to him at the goal line if they get there. And like I said, he could burn you deep too. Cup to score minus 125. Parlay Kid, you like him over in the yards, right?
I'm switching it, so I'm going to go over catches. I just made that determination. 8.5 catches at plus 108. I like that value. He is a catch machine for this team. I remember thinking, the reason why is because even the last game, I said to myself, man, before you knew it, it was like cup catch. He was at 3 within like a drive. So I like the plus 108 at 8.5. He's gone over this many, many times this year. It's almost like if he doesn't get double digits, it's a disappointment. So I'm going to take Cup over 8.5 at plus 108. I love that value for a guy who just knows how to get open, Sal. He knows how to get open.
All right. Harry, you are going against the Parlay Kid.
Yeah, I was going to go again. I thought Parlay Kid was going to go yards over. I'm going to take yards under. What is it? 105? 105?
101 and a half.
101 and a half. I'm going to go under 5 straight games. Parlay.
Look at Harry trying to steal yards
5.
again. Just did it again. Wow.
Oh, I'm going an under here. Listen, parlay kid, 5 straight games under 100 yards against Seattle. That includes earlier this season. That includes the playoff game last year. I'm going to take Kupp under the yards here in a kind of maybe a low scoring game.
Wow, you're going an under. This is scary now because he's going under. If you
I've
had
been
gone
winning with the
over,
unders. 2 for 2 yesterday, unders.
you did go 2 for 2. You did have the under in the Ravens Packers. I don't know.
No, he had a prop under, Sal.
Oh, right.
That's-
Okay, yeah.
And the
Just
game.
don't
Like
attach
he-
it to the team, right? Yeah.
Right.
Right.
All right, brother Bry, you have something different than Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gerald Everett to score a touchdown at plus 220. You know, Everett has 2 touchdowns in the last 3 games, and yet he could have a bunch more. I don't know. It seemed like the last couple of games, it must be frustrating. It seems like Everett either has dropped the ball or fumbled his way into the end zone. I feel like he could have 5 probably over these last 3 games. And somehow it doesn't affect Wilson. He keeps throwing him the ball. Wilson must like him a lot. So I think he scores here against his former team, and especially with Lockett out, he'll be probably the second weapon for them. So at plus 220, I like that.
All right, there you go. All right, let's go to our first touchdown pick. Going Van Jefferson plus 850. I did this last Monday night against Arizona. It didn't work
We
out.
love
He has
him.
6. He did score in that game. He has 6 touchdowns on the year. He's actually scored in 3 straight games. Stretches the field. Like I said, the Seahawks have guys out in the secondary. Scored last week. I'm just going. I like Van Jefferson. I think.
Yep.
You know, if it's not Kupp, it's Jefferson. I think we're going to get them both covered here, Parlay Kid, because you're going with Cooper Kupp, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Kupp, who's got, seems like a million touchdowns on the year, is 5-1. The same as Sanders, who's got 0, is 5-1. So I know I'm taking 2 top heavy favorites here, but I like the 5-1 for Kupp. I think that's great value for a guy that has by far the best chance of scoring the first touchdown. Should be a heavier favorite because he just always sees the ball. He just always sees the guy's targeted 15 times a game. So Kupp at 5-1, that's pretty good value for a guy who's always seeing the end zone south. So let's roll with him.
All right. Harry, you like Metcalf. When's he getting in the end zone? Do it already, right?
Look, 8-1. He does actually lead Seattle in touchdowns with 8.
Hard to
He's at the
believe.
What year was
Yeah.
that? This
Right.
year?
It's
Yeah,
true.
but
It does.
listen, he's had
know.
the first touchdown of the game, not once, not twice, 3 times this season against the Saints, Minnesota, and the Rams in the first meeting. He had 2 touchdowns in that game against the Rams. Also, DK, first offensive touchdown game versus the Rams in the playoffs last year. He had 2 touchdowns in that game as well. So Metcalf at 8-1. Let's give that's actually, considering what Parlay Kids is saying odds wise, that sounds pretty good at 8-1.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like it.
All right. And we have one more, Brother Bry. First touchdown.
Yeah, I'm going to go Sony Michelle at 8-1. He was 10-1 earlier this morning, but I feel like the Rams have been a better team with Michelle in the backfield. He gives them a little bit more, consistency and physicality, I think, more so than Henderson. But he has rushed for 200 yards with the touchdown in the last 2 weeks. Seattle struggles a bunch against running backs through the air and on the ground, and they've also allowed 13 touchdowns to running backs. So, I like Michelle's chances here if they get onto the goal line. I think he should be the guy getting the carries down there.